Welcome into the 49ers Report here on Chat Sports. I am Chase Sr. And before we break down 5 NFL draft prospects that could be available for the 49ers in round 2, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We just surpassed 34,000 subscribers, so that's a big thank you to all of you for joining the family. And with the NFL draft coming up in exactly 2 weeks, we're pushing out daily NFL draft coverage. We're talking mock drafts as well as some of these scouting profiles. And this is a large family that we want to continue to grow. So let's get to 36,000 subscribers before the NFL draft. I think we can get there. So hit that big red button down below and go to youtube.com/49erstv and subscribe now. So I mentioned the NFL draft is coming up in 2 weeks. The first round on Thursday, April 29th. Second round coming at you on Friday, April 30th. That's the second and third round on that Friday. And then it all culminates with the rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday, May 1st. And for the 49ers, we're going to be focusing on the second round here today. They do select 43rd overall. That is 11th in the second round. As far as their targets in the second round, they could be looking at offensive line or cornerback or another position possibly if they decide to go best player available. And you have to subscribe to our Chat Sports main YouTube channel because we will be live for every single round of the 2021 NFL Draft, and we are the most watched NFL Draft on YouTube. We like to have a lot of fun. We hit you with the hard-hitting analysis, so hop on board, join the show, subscribe to Chat Sports because it's going to be a party, and we're going to have a bunch of fun. Let's get into these 5 prospects that could be available for the 49ers at round 2, and we start off with Landon Dickerson, center out of Alabama. I really like this prospect, and he did tear his ACL late in the year with Alabama, but I saw him doing cartwheels behind Mac Jones at his pro day, so it looks as though he's going to be healthy and upright for this upcoming season. He is nasty and physical, 2 traits that I love in my offensive lineman. He's also beloved by his teammates and his coaches. He's said to be a great culture guy, and if he is able to stay healthy, because he has torn ACLs in both of his knees, Landon Dickerson has all-pro, Pro Bowl potential. And the reason why I like him possibly going to the 49ers, I know they signed Alex Mack this offseason, but Mack is in his mid-30s. He's in the twilight of his NFL career, so maybe Landon Dickerson is a guy who could replace him. And if you want Dickerson to play from day one, he has versatility to his game. He can either play center or guard. So do you think that Landon Dickerson, given that he is a highly touted prospect, will make it to the 49ers when they draft 43rd overall? Type A for yes, he'll be available, or type T for taken. Let's get to my next prospect, Gregory Rousseau, an edge rusher out of Miami, a polarizing prospect who, if he hits, if he brings it all together, could have a long and very successful and explosive NFL career. And yes, you have Dee Ford, who the 49ers re-signed this offseason, restructured his contract. You have Nick Bosa as well. But when you're building a football team, you can never have enough edge rushers. And for D'Amico Ryans, for John Lynch, that is a position that you always have to value. A couple of rules when you're building a football team: get a quarterback, protect the quarterback, and attack the quarterback. That's why Gregory Rousseau, if the pick hits, could have a lot of potential in this defense. He was a COVID opt-out in 2020, but when he was on the field for the Hurricanes in 2019, him and Chase Young, the only players in college football who accumulated more than 15-plus sacks. He had 15 and a half 2 years ago. And he is a fantastic athlete. Now, he is raw, and he does need to bulk up, but the frame is there for him to bulk up. We're looking at a very lengthy and explosive athlete, and again, if he puts it together, this guy could be a stud. I want you to grade Gregory Rousseau as a prospect for me. Get into the comments, hop on board, and join the show. This is your opportunity to give us feedback. We go back into the comments, and we look at what you guys all say. Scale Gregory Rousseau as a prospect for me. Play the scout and scale it 1 to 100. We advance with Eric Stokes, cornerback out of Georgia. And cornerback could be a position of need for the 49ers when they select in the second round. And it's a position like edge rusher, like defensive line. You can never have enough elite players at the cornerback position, especially as offenses evolve and as defenses change. Eric Stokes, 26 pass breakups in 36 career games as a Bulldog. He's a former track athlete, so his ability to track down wide receivers if they get by him is a nice little element to his game. Very quick, too, using that former track experience. He ran an unofficial 4.29 40-yard dash at his Georgia Pro Day. And scouts think that this kid is really intelligent. He's also coachable. When it comes to concerns for Eric Stokes, needs to add a little bit of muscle and a little bit of weight because he does have a slender frame. I want to transition to Kelvin Joseph, cornerback out of Kentucky. Here's the theme here. We continue to look at corners because this is another prospect who, like Gregory Rousseau, has some concerns, especially for Kelvin Joseph. They come down to character concerns, but the ability is certainly there. That's why he was recruited out of high school to go to LSU. He spent a year there and did flame out, speaking of those character concerns. But the ability, the talent, the upside, it pops off the screen when you watch Kelvin Joseph play the DB spot. 4 interceptions in 9 games in 2020, very loose hips. He has first-round talent, but because of those character concerns, his draft stock has plummeted. He basically was told to go home by Kentucky coach Mark Stoops because Mark Stoops couldn't take him anymore, and he flamed out at LSU when he was recruited by Les Miles because of those aforementioned character concerns. Now, can he go to the 49ers, a franchise that has a lot of stability, a franchise that has leadership and quality coaching, and thrive under a guy like DeMeco Ryans, who is known throughout his NFL career for being a captain and a leader? Potentially. If you want to take a risk and take a chance on a guy, Kelvin Joseph could be worth it. Hey, Niner Nation, tell me what you're thinking. Do you want the 49ers to take a cornerback? If you think they should, type P for pick. And if you're the faithful and you don't want the Niners to select a DB, type O for other. Let's round out this list of top 5 prospects who could be available for the 49ers in the second round with Pat Freiermuth. Yes, he plays tight end, and I understand that the 49ers have George Kittle, who you can make the argument is the best tight end in the league. If not, he's right behind Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. But if the 49ers are going best player available, the thought process here is that if Freiermuth is on the board, maybe you take him because he could be the best player available when the 49ers do pick. Kyle Shanahan, with his offense, he loves tight ends. And when you have 2 of them, that gives you versatility, it gives you another weapon, it gives you another option, and it opens things up on the perimeter for guys like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. And I'm thinking about being an opposing defensive coordinator, having to prepare and plan for George Kittle and Pat Freiermuth. I don't think I'd sleep much at night. I mean, good night if you're going up against both of those tight ends who, Kittle, proven guy, one of the best tight ends in the league. Pat Freiermuth has the potential to be that guy down the road, and I think he could be an impact player from day one. I did scout him, and I covered him in my previous job when he was playing for Penn State. And a lot of people like to compare some of these athletic specimen tight ends with Rob Gronkowski. Now, baby Gronk comps have been thrown out for Pat Freiermuth because he is just a massive, bulky human being, and when he runs down the seam, he does look and remind you of Rob Gronkowski. So the comps, I've seen them up close and personal. I think they're justified because Pat Freiermuth is just a physical guy who can catch the ball, but also is an elite blocker, kind of like George Kittle. So if the 49ers go BPA, I think it'd be a smart choice to bring in Pat Freiermuth because why not give Kyle Shanahan another offensive weapon? So there is my list of 5 second-round targets who could be on the board for the 49ers. Landon Dickerson, center out of Alabama. Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher out of Miami. Eric Stokes, cornerback out of Georgia. Kelvin Joseph, also a DB out of Kentucky. And Pat Freiermuth, tight end out of Penn State. What do you think of that list right there? I think it's pretty solid, but be honest with me. If you want to criticize the list, if you hate it, you can let me know, but grade it for me in the comments, A, B, C, D, or F. Before we head out, I've appeared on the 49ers Report from time to time. I'm starting to get used to everything, and I like how 49ers fans operate. The Faithful is an awesome fan base, and I like how you guys have been honest with me, spitting facts, spitting truth. If you want to continue to do that, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. My DMs are open. Let's talk some ball. Get in there. Hit me up.